Hello, and welcome to Teenage Brain, Section 2, Lesson 1. What happens when you have a concussion? Before we get bogged down in this lesson, let's look at our culminating task prompt. Students will use their knowledge of the teenage brain to answer the culminating task question. Does being a teenager positively or negatively affect one's decision making? Be sure to address and refute at least one counterclaim in your response. Today you will build knowledge of concussions and your effects on behavior by watching and summarizing a video. You will read and summarize Concussions Affect Teens More Than Kids and Adults, study says, by Stephen Reinberg. For this lesson, you will need Concussions Affect Teens More Than Kids and Adults, study says, the Section Diagnostic model, the Section 1 Diagnostic response, what happens when you have a concussion, and your reading response journal. Here are our learning targets for this lesson. Can you determine the most important details from a video and a text to include in a summary? Can you formulate a summary sentence using the most relevant details from a video and text? Now, you will read the response from the Section 1 Diagnostic model. A model is an example to follow or imitate, and that is helpful to you, and it's helpful to use models as you revise and edit your work. As you read through the model, you're going to answer the questions to focus on content, information, and ideas. The questions that you'll be answering are: does the writer establish a clear response supporting claims that are specific, appropriate to the task, and based on evidence? And how well does the writer develop the focus? You will evaluate the accuracy of the information and the logic and the relevance of the writer's explanations in connection to the writer's thesis statement. As you're working through this activity, I want you to think about the following. What are the different parts of your thesis statement? Do you provide adequate textual evidence for each supporting claim? What can you add to your claim to make it more clear? What can you delete from your claim to make it more clear? What details must you add to make sure your claim communicates your conclusion about the text? What evidence from the text supports your claim? How can you revise your claim to be based on evidence from the text? How can you revise your claim to make it more specific or more original? You will have 3 minutes to look over this diagnostic model. Now I want you to go back and read the Section 1 diagnostic prompt. I want you to underline the thesis statement in the model, and I want you to evaluate how well the thesis statement addresses the prompt. And then, using the model as an example, I want you to evaluate and revise your own work for content, information, and ideas. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to work on this activity. Now we're going to review the questions that are in the section diagnostic for Section 2. What is the responsibility of high school leagues to enforce safety regulations that prevent or reduce concussions? Is it responsible for schools or leagues to allow girls to play high-impact sports given the research? While you're looking at these questions, I want you to think about the following. What is the prompt asking you to do? What type of text do you think this prompt is asking you to address? What are some important verbs in this prompt? We're going to take a couple of minutes and discuss these prompts. Now we're going to view what happens when you have a concussion. As you view the video, I want you to consider the video focus. Which effects of concussions are the most dangerous? Why? Also, while viewing this, I want you to think about the following. Why are concussions hard to diagnose? What is the difference between a concussion and subconcussive hits? Is one more dangerous than the other?